Hey, stay here. Okay? This is gonna come off. But I need followers. It will come off if I get followers, okay? So please like and follow. First out, I need your help. I'm first and foremost doing this for my two daughters, who I can't get in touch with. Because people are telling them that I've done these cruel acts of violence against other women. So please help me spread my word. Because they need to know. No, they deserve to know that their dad isn't a bad man. So please follow. Okay? If this is your first viewing of me, just a quick recap. I wrote a book that later became a trilogy about how I was wrongfully accused of rape, among other things. Okay? And later wrongfully convicted. And I will in these videos expose the corrupt Swedish justice system using my preliminary investigation. In Swedish, förundersökning. Okay? That's just a small part of it. I got more. It's over 2,300 pages, okay? And this is confidential. And I will show you, by using this, how I was wrongfully convicted by a corrupt system. Okay? And here I must stress the importance that I'm not alone in this. There are a lot of us out there that have been convicted for this, who hasn't done it. Okay? And that's because the Swedish justice system is faulty. In my case, there were several things that went wrong. I had corrupt cops that were investigating me. I had a corrupt chief prosecutor. Okay? And corrupt judges. But for today, I'm going to talk about my time in a Swedish jail. Okay? So, my trilogy will start with the life that I had before I went into the Swedish justice system. But I should tell you that this wasn't my first rodeo, or whatever you want to call it, with this system. But that I will talk about in the books. It's too much to explain. However, I can tell you that none of those times I got charged with anything. So, for now, I'm going to talk about this time. So, when the police came and took me away, this time, they were surprisingly gentle and nice. They entered my house and explained to me that I was to be taken in for questioning. However, the local newspaper wrote that a neighbor had seen the police pushed me up against the side of the house while they were arresting me. And this shows how dangerous it is when the news doesn't know better. A lot of articles were written about me, the one more gruesome than the other one, without any confirmation if the allegations were true or not even a phone call to my lawyer to confirm if they were true or not, or what I had to say about them. So, the people in my town, they swallowed all this BS right away. And that also shows how gullible people are when it comes to what the media tells them. So, think about that the next time when you're reading something. Okay? Well, enough about that. Back to the jail. So, at my arrest, I was placed in a cell with a plastic mattress on the floor, no bedding, no pillow. Just an empty cold room with a window looking out at a concrete wall. And there I spent my first nights. Now, what this does to an innocent person is terrible. it will give you scars for life. And those nights, they still haunt me. So when I wake up in my bed, thinking that I'm back there, it always brings tears to my eyes. And when it does, the suicide thoughts come back. And they're not pretty or nice. Well, I was in that cell for a couple of days. After that, they decided to start charging me with several crimes. So I was placed in another cell. Now, this was something that had its perks, because I then got a real bed, bedding, a real toilet. In the small cell that I had before, it was just a small toilet with no sink to wash my hands after I was done. And the new cell also had a TV. Now that was not something that I was prepared for. So of course, I got happy, which is crazy in itself, because I was still locked up. But it's funny how the small things matter when you're totally stripped away from everything. However, it was now that the real interrogation started, and I got accused with all sorts of crimes, just because a woman said it happened, without any proof of it. And I will of course talk about how these allegations came to be in another video. But trust me, you won't believe me when I tell you how they came to be. But again, it's all in my books, and it's written from real interrogations, classified ones, okay? So, as the interrogations went on, and they went at me at full speed, I could feel how my mental health declined. And it got really bad. So bad that I started to plan for a suicide. So as I was planning my suicide, I got caught and put in solitary confinement. And that is not a fun place to be. But not because of the empty room that I was put in, which had a mirror wall and a camera, just so that they could see me 24/7. No, the hard thing and the bad thing was the guards that worked there, who were cruel and abused their standings in the jail. And I can now tell you that the local newspaper has written a series of articles about this place and of the abuse of power that has been going on there. I offered them an interview, but they declined. Well, I guess they thought, who's going to believe a convicted rapist, right? Now, I should tell you that there were also some nice and respectful guards there. Guards who noticed how bad my mental health was and came to my rescue. But the majority of the guards were real sadists and abusive. So, at least once a day, I heard how guards threatened other inmates, and also how they became violent against these inmates. And that's not fun to hear. So, for over 300 days, I was confined in that small cell. And that time will always haunt me. And I wish that all the people who are lobbying for this law, a law that has made a 200% increase in conviction about rape here in Sweden since it was put into effect 2018, got to experience how it is to be wrongfully incarcerated, wrongfully accused, and wrongfully convicted. And experience how investigators and prosecutors only listen to the victim's word without any evidence to back it up. And I think that if they got to see what this is really like, they would change their minds quite fast. Because it's easy to stand on the other side if you haven't experienced it for yourself. Now, all of this has been written down in my books. But again, I've only scratched the surface of what's in this trilogy. Because I wasn't in just one jail. I was in 3. Okay? The one more gruesome than the other one. But in different aspects. And with all this said, I have to tell you that the environment isn't as humane as the government wants you to think. So, the next time when you see a reporter that talks about how the Swedish jails or jail cells are, understand one thing, that the people in charge only let you see what they want you to see. There's a lot of nastiness going on behind that curtain. So, with that said, watch me the next time I go live, or my videos, because I will then reveal how the victims lied and show you how they manipulated the Swedish justice system. But I will also reveal how the investigators helped the victims and how the chief prosecutor was in on it. And how will I do this? By using my preliminary investigation, or in Swedish, förundersökning, which I again must remind you is confidential. Okay? No one has seen that before. Finally, I should tell you something. Since my latest video, cars have started to drive by my house again. Just like when I came out of prison. Internet trolls that are making their presence made, victims that don't want this to come out, and their witnesses. But I have also seen the police outside my house in plain civilian clothes. But they're so used to being cops, so they forgot to change their shoes. So that was an easy way to spot them. And one of them, a woman, of course, walked past my house one time. And as soon as she has walked past my house, she turned around and walked back down the street and past my house again. Which made it even more obvious what she was doing. So, before I end this, I don't know what would happen if the corrupt cop sees this. Or if the chief prosecutor sees this. Because these people has taken the law into their own hands before. So, if I get banned, or worse, you will know why. Because this is also a political powder keg. This is not something that the government wants you to see or to know. So, please help me spread my word. If not for me, then for my 2 daughters. Because they need to know that their dad isn't what ignorant people are telling them. They deserve the truth. And I have it right here. It's all in my preliminary investigation. And in my trilogy. Okay? Thank you for listening to me. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.